Welcome back, traders. Going to do some more back testing. Here I have the NASDAQ pulled up on the daily chart, and this week we're going to be back testing February 19th to the 23rd, although the 19th is actually a holiday. So I have the chart pulled up here on the daily, and as you can see, we still have been rallying up, but we've been kind of stuck in this consolidation between this high and this low. So just kind of want to take a look at the bigger picture. We still have this void on the daily chart that we could come back to revisit. But in order for that to happen, we need to see some sort of a market shift below this low or even below this low. So currently we're up here, and I'm keeping my eye on this -1 standard deviation right here. Remember, this was a projected target from this swing low to this swing high. But right now we're pretty much stuck in between this range. So taking a closer look, you can see that we had a small fair value gap here and here. So this is kind of a balanced price range. And if we've traded through that, looks like we may be heading for this low, perhaps retesting this fair value gap. Looking at the 4-hour, you can see here we have that balanced price range on the daily. There's going to be a 1 hour, I believe, either 1 hour or 15-minute fair value gap here. But as you can see on the 4-hour, we've dropped down and there's no inefficiencies whatsoever above us. This is pretty much balanced. We have one candle going down, one candle going up, and now back down. So no inefficiencies whatsoever. So I don't think really there's any point in price going up. I think it wants to seek the sell side below this low, this low. There are some flat lows down here, and it could even come down and take this low as well. So I think going into Tuesday, we're going to be with a bearish bias. Tuesday morning, you can see that we've already dropped down to take out these lows, and here are those flat lows. This is the 1 hour chart. So we're going to get rid of these, but I'm going to go ahead and move this up here. This is going to be the closest buy side liquidity, and then below us we do have that daily low that we're looking for, and if we look even lower, we could go back into that daily fair value gap. Taking a closer look at the 15-minute, price is pretty tight right now. We went above this SIBI, so it looks like we could be coming back out for the buy side for this high, perhaps even this high. Technically, I don't really want to see this high taken, although it can and go back into this 15-minute SIBI. Now, I am looking for price to come down to take out this low. And remember, we got that lower target as well. So, but, it's pretty tight. It's actually a little unclear. So I'm going to actually go in today with a neutral bias, but I want to see one of these liquidity spots to get swept first, and we'll see if we can go for the other one. Now on the 5-minute chart, 8:45, the 8:30 news didn't give us much. We consolidated here, but you can see here on the 8:35 candle, we went down to clear out the lows down here. Going back into this SIBI, perhaps using it as an inversion. We'll see if I get confirmation on this fair value gap. We could be aiming for these relative highs with a partial above this single high. Now, looking down over here, we've rallied up. I didn't really see any form of confirmation. So yeah, I'm going to wait to see if this fair value gap forms. If we get confirmation, it's kind of close. I would like to try to take one. If the risk is there, maybe I'll go in with half size. Okay, so we did create a fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at it with only half size. My entry up here with the risk down here, only just taking one contract because I'm a little nervous. Coming in, I do have a neutral bias. This rally up right here, this could have been the fake out right here with going back into this fair value gap, and we may be looking for lower prices. But just because I saw this wick down lower right here, and then we went up, creating a fair value gap, I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm just going to go ahead and take it off at this partial, even though I think if we are taking this out, we could go above these highs as well. So, it's only like, what, 10-point difference? So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play it safe and take it off above this high. That's definitely going to give us better than a 1-to-1. All right, so got stopped out here. Price just kind of consolidated for a while. Then it came back down to take the sell side. And this is 9:30 here. So with this rally up, we swept the sell side and we rallied up. So I'm actually going to go ahead and look to re-enter Of course, I already took a loss, so this is going to be half size if we have a fair value gap here and if the risk is allowable. Okay, pretty wicked day. The rally up did not create a fair value gap instead, but it did take out this high. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. It did not take out this high, it created equal highs. So I'm going to keep this in mind for the future. But with this huge drop down, definitely I can see now that the manipulation was to the upside and it's going to go for the lower target. So I'm going to go see if we can rally back up here and perhaps get a setup to go short if we don't take out this sell side. Okay, so the sell side was taken before we had any sort of retracement. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out to the 15-minute. I'm actually going to go to the 1 hour, see if there's anything we can do here. We have taken out this target. Let me just go ahead and zoom out to 20 days. If we stay heavy, we do have this swing low right here. And then of course, going back into that daily fair value gap. So I'm just going to go ahead and just watch price right now. Now that we've taken the sell side, are we going to keep going lower or are we going to start reversing for these equal highs and those equal highs? Okay, so it is 11:30, price dropped down but did not take that swing low, and it looks like we are getting some sort of a retracement right here. I'm going to keep my eye on both of these 5-minute fair value gaps. Are they going to be used as resistance or support? If I do see support forming, we could be aiming for these relative equal highs. However, if these are used as resistance and we start seeing displacement lower, we could be going lower, and I could get in either way. I mean, neutral bias, and be aiming for either this low or those highs. 11:41, and we didn't get all the way up to these fair value gaps. We just stopped below it, so that is a little bit weak. Like it couldn't even go up this fair value gap, and we've got this pretty nice drop creating a fair value gap here on the 5 minutes. You can see we have a sell side fair value gap. So I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'm not going to enter in this. I'm looking for confirmation. I'm looking for price to, it already went back into this fair value gap. Now, if it's going to displace lower with another fair value gap, I'll take that next one and then aim for this low. Okay, so we did create another fair value gap here. I'm just going to go stretch this out. So we had this first one here. We have confirmation. There's two fair value gap here. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to take one with the risk up here, and my entry can either be at this upper fair value gap, although we're so close, I don't think we'll retrace that much. If this fair value gap gets remains intact, I will take it my short entry at this high of this this candle right here into the first fair value gap. So I am going to have a bigger risk. Now, is that going to be 1-1? I wonder. If it's not 1-1, then there's no point in actually taking it. So here's my risk, and looking down here. So you can see that this fair value gap, if I enter here, it is above 50% of the range of this high to this low. So that is going to give me at least a 1-1. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shoot for it if this fair value gap remains intact. Otherwise, I will try to aim for this upper fair value gap. Okay, so now that we are actually past 12 o'clock, getting pretty close to the closing window, I think no more trades today. We can see that it displaced lower and took out this low. I did not want to see this low get taken before coming back for my entry, so yeah, that definitely did not happen. This would have been a good entry if I went ahead and took this one, but I don't know. I wanted to wait for confirmation, especially since we did not come into this fair value gap just yet. This could have been a fake move, and we go back to, you know, take these buy side above this high, and then the real move comes. So that's why I want to wait for confirmation for this one. But I guess you know, if you miss moves, then well, at least I was patient trying to wait for my setup. And just to show you guys, 12:20, we did hit that sell side target. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next day. Today was a missed opportunity. Maybe I went in a little too soon on this fair value gap. But we do have these relative highs. We could aim for that, but I want to see price come back into that daily fair value gap first. End of the day, after taking out that sell side liquidity, we did not go back into the daily fair value gap. Instead, we slowly grinded up, taking out this high, going back into this fair value gap. So let's just see what the next morning looks like. Wednesday morning, so on the 1 hour chart, price went up to this fair value gap. We consolidated, dropped down, respected this fair value gap, and now we are a little bit lower, kind of close to this fair value gap. So what I'm thinking is we've already had a sweep of buy side right here, and we went into a 5-minute fair value gap, probably looking for this low, looking for the daily fair value gap. We do have equal lows up here, but I don't think these are in play right now. I think price is going to be going for this daily fair value gap. So let's go to the 15-minute, see if there's anything here we can see. We know that we did trade back into the 1 hour CIBI and we displaced lower. There is a fair value gap here. I'm going to see if this gets respected. And if we see some sort of displacement after going back into this one, we can look for a short. So the morning action was pretty choppy. It is 9:06 right now. We went down, took out the low one more time, and you can see this back and forth action, but this is that 15-minute fair value gap. We went back into it. Now, if I start seeing displacement lower, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. But if we do want to go higher, it doesn't really, I don't really see why we will want to take this high or these highs right here. Well, I guess these highs is valid with this inefficiency right here, but if we're going to take this high, I think we're going to come up and take these highs. But I think it's perfectly reasonable if this 15-minute fair value gap holds, or even this 5-minute fair value gap above it. If either of these hold and we start displacing lower, I'll be looking to take a short, aiming for this low down here. Could take partial down here, but I think if we're going to start dropping, we're going to take out this low. Okay, a little bit before 9:30, so I'm thinking 9:30 volatility may help push price down. I want to see if we can get a retracement back into one of these fair. This candle hasn't done forming yet, so there's no fair value gap here just yet. But I'll put my entry short over here with my stop loss up here. This could take me out. We could go back above this high and go back into this fair value gap. If that does happen, I'll look to re-enter, but I'm going to go ahead and try for this and use the 9:30 volatility to see if price can drop down into the low. A little bit after 9:30, price was pretty wicked. It did come back. See, that fair value gap never formed, but we did get our entry here short. Price did come back up to tick. We almost got stopped out. That was a little scary, but we do start having a lot of volatility here. I'm hoping that this will remain intact and we can go for the lows. I hope this down lower wick wasn't just a sweep of liquidity and then looking for higher prices. We're so close to that low. I don't see why. It would be such a shame if we don't go down there to take it. And just a reminder, zooming out, it is this low that I'm talking about. That is going to be my target that I'm aiming for. Okay, this is great. I like seeing this big drop down. We didn't hit that low just yet. We could have a slight retracement if this fair value gap remains. If this fair value gap remains, we could potentially, I could lower my stop loss to break even. If we have a fair value gap, I could put it above this order block candle. Just below my entry, so it'll be a little bit better than break even, but pretty much break even. I definitely could do that and then hold for this low. And just a few minutes later, we did take out that low, so marking this as a pretty nice trade. As you can see, the risk to reward was very, very good. Let me go ahead and show you on the spreadsheet what it looks like. Okay, so here is the spreadsheet. And as you can see, because the risk to reward was very small, it was not even 10 points. I was able to take 6 contracts with it. And you can see yesterday we had that loss, but today we more than made up for it. 6 contract. I only took 3 off out on the first partial. It was already 5-1, which is fantastic. So I took one off. Or I took a half a position off below this low. I'm going to hold for the other ones. I'll take 2 more off if we can get into the fair value gap. I'm hoping this fair value gap will remain as resistance. And I'll take 2 off into the fair value gap. And then going to the hourly, I'm looking for, let's see, I am looking for, well, let me zoom out a little bit more. on the 1 hour, I'm looking to hold that last partial. I don't think it may not get to this low, but if it gets below these lows, I will try to take one off somewhere around this area if we can, you know, hold for that last contract. Okay, such a shame, but I did move my stop to break even. I don't know if I mentioned it. So it did wick up, or not wick up, it did rally up above all of this drop here. It didn't really go back in that fair value gap. Maybe I could have taken more off here, but my first partial, taking 3 contracts off, that was already half my position, and already, you know, that was a lot. So yeah, got stopped out for the rest right here at 502. So let's go ahead, open that back boy up. Here we took the first partial 3, and then the next 3 was at 17,502 for about break even, but total on the day 300. Very good. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I did miss out a little bit. You know, maybe I could have taken more, but off down here, but you know, I guess I was just a little greedy. I was hoping for more, but anyways, let's see what the rest of the day played out, and we'll go to the next day. After this pretty nice win, I don't really want to take any more trades today. So here we are at the end of the day. You can see that rally back up. It was just kind of part of a consolidation here throughout the day. Lunchtime, we did dip down into that low and back into the daily fair value gap, and we dropped down even more during the PM session. But then after 3 o'clock, last 30 minutes of trading, we routed up, took out the high of the day, and overnight, well, I guess at 4 o'clock, I don't know what was this big wick right here, but yeah, we're starting to rally up even higher. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the daily on the higher time frame. Let's see exactly what's going on. We came back into this fair value gap, and now it looks like we could be going higher. I mean, like, it doesn't look that great on the daily, but on the lower time frame, it looks very strong. Here's the 4 hour. You can see that we took out the sell side here, and we are going for these relative highs, perhaps this high as well. If we start pushing up, like if we start seeing support, then we could be looking at this high again, because we did have I think it was a 1 hour fair value gap that never got back into. And I mean, we might as well take out the all-time high once again, and we could be looking for that projected target finally. Thursday, on the 1 hour chart, you can see that overnight we routed up big, taking out these relative highs, taking out these highs, went back into that daily balance price range, even went above this high. So I'm not exactly sure what to do here with such a big overnight range. I'm expecting like we may just consolidate today. So today may be a no trade day. Got a pretty big win yesterday, so may just want to keep that for the rest of the week. Now what I'm expecting is maybe whoa, what's going on? Okay, lost my internet there for just a sec. Anyways, I think price could come back down to rebalance this 1 hour fair value gap a little bit. Now if we do start going back above, and I see this balance price range used as support, I don't know, I guess we can go for this high. I think I want to see some consolidation build up, because right now it's a little unclear what to do with this big rally. I kind of feel like it will want to come back down here to rebalance this a little bit before taking out this high. But let's go ahead and just go walk through the price action today, see if there's anything to see. So on the 5 minute, I guess we do have some sort of consolidation. We could play off of this. I'm going to use this low as the sell side and this high. This was the low at 420. So we'll see if we can get down into this fair value gap. And then if we have a change in the market structure, then we'll go long. If we go up here and then we have a change in the market structure to the downside, we could aim for that 1 hour fair value gap. Of course, this low first. And then I'll go on the 15 minute just to see if there's any other targets to look for. But pretty much going to be looking for that 1 hour inefficiency. If not, whoa. Yeah, I mean, probably, yeah. This 1 hour inefficiency, or maybe these lows down here. I mean, that's reasonable as well. So 8:30, we didn't get much, pretty much as consolidation all pre-market. 9:30, there was a little bit of volatility right here. I was expecting. Hey guys, so for some reason I lost audio for the rest of this recording, so the rest of this is going to be a voiceover. But here I was talking about how I was expecting price to come and take that sell side at 857 before going to the upside, but since we've already rallied up, I'm not exactly sure what to do. I think we could be going for those relative lows, but I want to go ahead and keep an eye out. If we do get confirmation, we can go for that upper 1 hour fair value gap. Here we can see that price went back down, creating a balanced price range, so I'm not super excited in going to the upside. I'm thinking those relative lows will get taken, but I'm gonna need to see some kind of a setup here. The price is coming back down into that daily balanced price range. Here we see price staying in the upper half of that balanced price range, and we've rallied up, creating another fair value gap. Now, I'm not going to take this fair value gap, but if we do see price going back into it and then creating another fair value gap to the upside, I will get some confirmation and I could enter on the next fair value gap. Of course, I am aiming for that 1 hour SIBI. Here we see price dipping down, is trading below that fair value gap. It did not hold back up. It's coming back into that daily balanced price range. So here I'm thinking we could be changing and shifting towards those relative lows. We do have some SIBIs here, but I want to see confirmation. Price rallied up once again to take the highs. You know, at this point, I was pretty much fed up with the price action. I'm not exactly sure if it's going to go up or down. And you're looking at the time, it is getting close to 11:30. My time window is closing. So right now I'm thinking that I may not have a trade today. And here at 12:15, I'm pretty much done for the day. You know, we just had some consolidation going into 12:15. So yeah, pretty much done for the day. No trades today. Taking a look at the end of the day, you can see that price grinded up higher into that 1 hour SIBI that I was looking for, but did not really have much opportunity, especially within my time window. Now I'm looking at that all-time high. I think that could be a target going into the last day, and or those relative lows there, that could be a sell side target. We did come back down and we went below that 1 hour SIBI. Now going into the next day, this is 8 o'clock in the morning. Pretty much been consolidating within that 1 hour SIBI. Here I'm talking about the price action of the week. If we look from Monday to Wednesday, we've dropped down lower, and then on Wednesday we've rallied up much higher. So I think coming into the last day, Friday, we're going to have a bullish bias, expecting price to take out that all-time high. And you can see the consolidation here. Pre-market, we did drop down into that 1 hour fair value gap in green. So that is good enough for a sell side liquidity sweep. And if as long as I can have some sort of a setup on a lower time frame, I'm looking to take a long into the all-time highs. Here on the 1 hour, these relative lows, they were a target for me before, but I don't think it's really going to be in play. I don't think price is going to go below that balanced price range. I'm looking for this 1 hour BTC in green to hold that support. And here we have pretty much 9:30. You can see that we didn't have much to do. It pretty much just rallied up all pre-market, taking out those highs, and it looks like it's going to go for the all-time highs already. And I just didn't really see any setup leading up to 9:30. I would like it if we did not take the buy side, but unfortunately we did take the buy side. I was hoping price would drop down a little bit more for a setup, but what can I do, right? Now I'm thinking there may be an opportunity if we come back down into that 1 hour SIBI and take out those relative lows, and we could have a chance to go for that all-time high. Here after 9:30, price just ticked up into the all-time high. So right now I'm thinking that there's pretty much nothing really that I can do at this point, and we may have a no trade day. Looking at the bigger picture, you can see that we did drop down into that daily fair value gap, and now we've created all-time highs. That projection target is still above there, but we may save that for next week. It's still kind of far away. It is Friday after all. So today, after taking the high, we may just kind of pull back into the range and do pretty much nothing for the rest of the day. And as you can see, at 10 o'clock, we did pull back hard into that 1 hour fair value gap. It did take out those relative lows, like I said. Now, this actually gave me a little bit of hope. Since it's only 10 o'clock, we do have a couple hours. If we can see a fair value gap to the upside, and if we use this 5-minute SIBI here as inversion, that could provide me a setup to go ahead and go for the highs once more. We could even push for those projected targets, but definitely gonna need to see some confirmation here. So price just kind of consolidated and slowly trickled down. Now it is at the low of that 1 hour SIBI. So right now, my hopes and dreams of having a new high is pretty much gone. I'm thinking that we probably go for the lows back into that fair value gap in green. But I think for me, I'm pretty much done for today. I don't really have anything else I want to do. We could go ahead and take out those lows, but you know, I'm not too excited to take any shorts. We had a pretty good win during this week, so I think I'm going to be pretty much done for the day. And as you can see, we dropped down really low just shortly after, going below that fair value gap in green. So yeah, at this point, I'm pretty much done. I'm not going to be looking for any more trades today. I'm thinking that we may just consolidate for the rest of the day, and I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at what price looks like at the end of the day. So here, taking a look at the end of the day, we did not take out that low that I drew out. We pretty much just consolidated, trickled down. We're close to the low. I'm expecting price to do have a wick through that low, perhaps going back into that daily balanced price range. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this time. Thank you guys for coming in for another backtesting session. And we're going to go ahead and go to the last week of February next time around. So come back next time. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so. And until I see you guys next time, safe trading.